She was asked to solve an advanced math problem, not because they needed the answer, but because they wanted to watch her freeze, stumble, and fall silent. In a seminar room glittering with tailored suits and PhD name tags, she stood out. Faded canvas shoes, a wrinkled shirt, a figure of quiet defiance. "Did you get lost, ma'am? This isn't the PDA meeting." Someone laughed. But when the marker brushed her fingers and hundreds of eyes sharpened in anticipation of her humiliation, the whiteboard bore witness to something else entirely. The Prometheus Summit at Aldwych University was a cathedral of intellect, its ancient brick cloisters wrapped in ivy, the seminar halls aglow with chandeliers more expensive than luxury penthouses in Manhattan. This exclusive conference, reserved for Ivy League PhDs and multimillion-dollar AI research sponsors, buzzed with tailored wool suits, polished leather shoes, silk ties, and name tags bearing titles like Chair of Quantum Algorithms. Gleaming oak tables bore crystal pitchers, and the air was thick with the scent of oud, ambition, and unspoken rivalry. Only 300 were invited, each verified through velvet-robed staff checking sapphire-encrusted badges. Beyond the atrium, a marble corridor led to a private lecture theater, its doors reserved for keynote speakers. Amelia Carter stepped in through a side entrance, unnoticed at first. Her jeans were worn, her simple t-shirt tucked into a cardigan fraying at the sleeves, her brown hair tied back with a plain rubber band at a T31. Raised in a modest Maine town, she had educated herself in advanced mathematics while caring for her ill father, turning down offers from MIT, Harvard, and Stanford to stay by his side. In her hands, a battered notebook, pages heavy with handwritten formulas, her only companion besides her husband, Dr. Nathaniel Carter, the forum's keynote speaker. The stairs seemed to slice through her path, and murmurs gathered like a summer storm. Amelia's presence cracked the pristine facade of the Prometheus Summit, her humble notebook a rebellion against the elite's polished reality. A Yale professor, his Zegna suit impeccable, paused mid-sentence to sneer, his sapphire badge gleaming. "Is she his personal assistant?" he scoffed, loud enough to draw amused glances at a Stanford AI researcher, preening in a $3,000 Armani jacket, leaned toward a colleague and snickered. "Maybe his new girlfriend. You know, the kind who thinks calculus is a gym class." Ripples of laughter surged, muffled behind manicured hands. Amelia stood still, her hazel eyes steady, her notebook clutched to her chest like a shield. She had come to support Nathaniel, the man whose groundbreaking work in modular probability she had quietly nurtured. Yet the disdain around her thickened. A third-year PhD candidate from Aldwych, named Veronica Shaw, sauntered forward. Her tailored Chanel suit swished arrogantly, her blonde ponytail like a whip. At 26, groomed in Boston's elite circles, she had a vicious reputation for cutting down anyone she deemed inferior. Veronica eyed Amelia's cardigan and scoffed. "Ma'am, this area is for main speakers only. Complimentary coffee is downstairs." Her voice sliced through the hall like a razor. The crowd roared, laughter bouncing off the vaulted ceilings. Veronica tossed her ponytail, releasing a cloud of jasmine perfume, a scent Amelia knew Nathaniel abhorred. Amelia's grip tightened on her notebook, her face placid. The jeers escalated. A conference staffer, Margaret Yates, in a velvet vest, approached with a grim set to her mouth. At 50, raised in upstate New York, she took pride in maintaining order. "Miss, you're disrupting the session," she said, firm but not cruel. Applause broke out, mocking, derisive. A Princeton alum in a $5,000 Brioni suit shouted, "Lost your way, ma'am? This isn't a community college orientation." More laughter rippled across the room. A postdoc hissed, "She doesn't even look like a grad student." Another added, "Probably sketches doodles in that notebook of hers." Every word was a lash. Still, Amelia stood silent, her spine straight, her gaze unblinking. Near the oak tables, a cluster of Ivy League professors congealed into a clique, each one more venomous than the last. "She's tarnishing the summit's reputation," one sneered, flicking a gold fountain pen toward Amelia's frayed sleeves. Back to the library, sweetheart. Another waved his badge like a weapon. That notebook? Probably a high school math club relic. The roaring laughter shook the chandeliers. Veronica Shaw wasn't finished. She strutted up to the whiteboard and scrawled a fiendishly complicated combinatorics problem, one that had bested her own research team for months. Solve this before the coffee break ends, she challenged. If you can, I'll apologize publicly. If not, please step aside and make room for the real scholars. The crowd buzzed, the air thick with the scent of blood that a Harvard professor in a $6,000 chiton suit leaned back, smirking. She's probably here to fetch Dr. Carter's notes. An MIT postdoc yelled, her cardigan looks like it's from a Goodwill bin. The room was a crucible of disdain. Yet Amelia adjusted her rubber band with a calm so profound it sliced through the noise. Her hazel eyes, glowing with quiet fire, stayed fixed on the board. She's a disgrace, Veronica spat. Nathaniel must be mortified. Even the staff joined in. Clara Holt, a session coordinator in a crisp blazer, pointed dismissively toward the atrium. General seating is down there. We don't allow unregistered guests in the main hall. Senior usher Richard DeWitt added, your attire suggests you're in the wrong place, miss. Simplicity isn't really the standard here at Prometheus. Their snickering fueled the mob's cruelty. Lies swirled. That Amelia had snuck into Steele research, that she was a con artist, that she was nothing but a fraud wrapped in canvas shoes and cheap denim. Still, Amelia cradled her notebook, every wordless accusation bouncing off her poised silence. She rose. She approached the whiteboard. Her shoes whispered across the polished oak. She picked up the marker. The room hushed, breath suspended that in 3 minutes. Without a single hesitation or correction, the whiteboard bloomed into a masterwork. A Level 2 supersymmetric permutation model, elegant and flawless. She set down the marker and returned to her seat. Veronica Shaw scoffed. That's it? Pretty drawings won't save you. An elderly professor, Dr. Julian Hartwell, revered in combinatorics, rose from the front row, his glasses trembling on his nose as he examined the board. Then he gasped. This is the shortest and most elegant solution I've ever seen, he whispered, his voice breaking. She solved it using a model even our advisory board hasn't formalized yet. The room shook. A ripple of awe fractured the marble certainty of the elite. Who is she? Where did she study? Why don't we know her name? The session turned electric. The keynote address began. Nathaniel Carter stepped onto the stage, his tailored suit understated, his posture a thunderclap. A T-40, a Fields medalist whose groundbreaking work stood on the unseen shoulders of the woman now seated silently before him. He adjusted the mic. I'd like to surrender my speaking time, he said, his voice clear and commanding, to the person who deserves it far more. Every head turned. This is Amelia Carter, Nathaniel continued. She turned down offers from Harvard, MIT, and Stanford to care for her dying father. She authored 80% of the core algorithms in my research. Without her, I would not be standing here. Gasps, shock. The truth detonated. Becca's coffee cup slipped from her hand, shattering into 1,000 guilty pieces. Nathaniel wasn't finished. She needs no badge, no title. She has something none of you can claim. Pure, unfiltered genius. Faces drained of color. Names tarnished. Reputations unmasked. Clara Holt shrank back. Richard DeWitt stared at the floor. Veronica Shaw's smirk crumbled. Nathaniel revealed a tablet point one by one. The severances appeared. Becca's funding revoked. Clara's privileges stripped. Richard's position terminated. Several professors' grants rescinded. Conference invitations nullified. You dared to mock Amelia Carter, Nathaniel said, his voice ablaze. And today you reap the consequence. The audience roared, not with scorn now, but with awe. Amelia rose, cardigan frayed, rubber band steadfast. She took the mic. I didn't come here to prove anything, she said, her voice calm as a mountain lake. I came to support my husband. But since you demanded a solution, I gave you one." The audience thundered their approval. Academics rushed to her with trembling hands. Collaboration offers, grant proposals, keynote invitations. Amelia smiled and simply took Nathaniel's hand. "I just came to take you home for lunch," she whispered. The chandeliers above them dimmed in deference. The once mighty fell. Becca Sloan became a pariah. Clara Holt vanished into administrative obscurity. Richard DeWitt's dismissal was immediate. Whispers of Amelia Carter spread beyond Aldwich's ivy walls. Her legend grew. The woman in canvas shoes who silenced the world's brightest minds not by shouting, but by simply solving what no one else could. She had been asked to fail. Instead, she rewrote the room. True brilliance needs no stage, only a marker, a mind, and the courage to stay standing.